everyone, my name is Lufumi and I am the creator of the Eyewitness podcast. On this podcast, we share our love for God over good food. Today on this episode, I have a prolific photographer, a pharmacist, and a musical artist. If you can believe that all these people are in one person. And I'm so excited today to introduce everybody to drumroll, Manne! Yeah. Also a husband. I knew that laugh was going to come.
That was
fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you. First of all, how do you have all these details? Like, where did you get all of this from?
Don't worry about that.
Hey!
Don't worry about that.
I've been exposed.
How is...
Mom?
No. Yes, I'm going to ask about your wife. No, that's what I'm going to say. I'm definitely going to ask about your wife.
Okay.
But my question is, how is photographer, pharmacist, and music artist in one person? What's this origin story? You have to tell me this origin story.
Wow, interesting.
You have to tell me. Which one did you start with?
Well, which one did I start with? First of all, like growing up, I always knew that I was a very creative person.
Okay.
I am from a family where my dad is a medical doctor, and you know the traditional Nigerian parents where you have to follow the family business and all that.
Yeah. It's like I want to be an actor.
Do you get? So I always knew, like from little, that I was really creative. I was writing books at the age of maybe 4.
Wow.
Like stuff like that.
Wow.
I was doing a lot of creative things. I was into painting, drawing and all that. I went for competitions for all those kind of things. But I'm coming from a family where we're 5 children.
Okay.
And I have 4 siblings that are medical doctors. So you could...
So even pharmacy said...
So you, that was even the pharmacy was being a black sheep.
It's suspect.
You get, like, there's a whole story on that. But, like, yeah, so I had that background, but then I was doing really good in sciences. Yeah. So it was like, okay, just follow the normal thing.
When you're smart and you're creative, it's like, the creative is okay, let's follow this path.
You're not sure whether the creative would bring money and all this kind of thing. So, so that was that. Then got in, long story, pharmacy in the university, and then I picked on my love for music. Obviously, through this time, I've always loved God, so that also influenced my music. And then at some point, I wanted to, like, in a sense, pivot, because I wanted to build a sustainable, sustainable career that aside from what the sciences give me. And then I found photography, built love for it, and we're here so far.
So it was, first of all, it was pharmacy first, and then musical artist, and then photography. So how does your family feel about? I mean, you worked with some of the, like, honestly, industry leaders in Nigeria, TY, all these people. How do they feel today about your choices? So,
first of all, you should always know that in the Nigerian, typical African family, you are going to be seen as the black sheep. And they're going to give you problems when you're very little. Go and read your book. So that was a lot of what I experienced growing up. But at the same time, I don't know. A lot of people say that I was older than my age, in the sense that I could tell that maybe after this period, when I figured this out, this wouldn't be the reaction they're going to give to me. I sort of had it in my
You already saw it. It's for now. It's for now. You are going to come back. Joseph, I had a dream. All of you were bowing down. No, I'm sorry. I'm just playing.
I had dipped it in a way, and then when things started unfolding, it got to a point where, like, my parents are comfortable. They're and I was like, Popsy, just don't worry about sending me allowance in school. When I was in, like, my 200 level, I stopped receiving money from them. Do you get? So they're like, so how are you taking care of yourself? So throughout medical school, figured that out, even my fees and all that and all that. So I think at the point where I then graduated, it was like, where is this guy getting this money from?
What's really going on? What's really going on?
So I think at that point is where they can now trust that you've been able to, you've shown a pattern. You've shown a pattern of making decisions that are not only making you feel happy, but they're actually pragmatic. They are showing results, as you just said.
Yes.
So most times our parents do what they do because they're trying to, they love us and they're trying to be protective of us, so we don't fall into things that
it's not really help us.
So so these days they're proud of me.
Wow, we love it. Of course, of course.
They're proud of me, and it's just beautiful to see how the years have evolved.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for you because if this is not count,
no, there was definitely
there was no way. I love it.
There was definitely no way.
I love it.
It's a thing of, regardless of what I intend to do, I know I have the spirit of God. I know, like,
come on,
it's the spirit of excellence. It flows in every single direction.
Love to hear it. Love it. See, let's not, before we start kabashing this place, let's talk about food. So I wanted to treat you to breakfast because let's try this food first. First of all, I want you to rate this for me.
The presentation is impressive.
Okay, I'm glad. Fluffy Cafe did it. I'm so proud. Let's try it.
You know, my wife is a seasoned chef. I might have.
Are you plugging? Finished husband though. On somebody else's podcast. Please plug.
This meal was curated and plated by the Fluffy Cafe.
How is your wife?
She's great. She's good. She was like, she would have come around, but she had to work. Yeah.
Season 2. We'll bring her. Do you want some syrup?
I think so.
At least you can tell your wife, at the very least, I fed you well. Do you want me to? Okay. This is actually good. I like it.
Yeah. I want to try it with the syrup.
It's actually so. I think you should try the syrup. It is like vanilla flavored, which is weird to me.
That's the pancake.
The syrup.
Oh, syrup. Okay.
It's actually so good. How are you feeling? The syrup is nice. You're welcome. I treat people good. Oh, wow.
You should hold me, please.
I'll hold you. No. Love for God.
I'm here for something else.
No. This is what you're here for. Love for God, love for food. I will just let you enjoy this because I myself, I have to be honest with you. I'm a foodie. I'm a lot of bit obsessed. It's not a little bit. It's a lot. So I said I'm not going to do a video podcast without food. That's not what we're doing. That's the real reason why there's food here. In case you don't know.
That's really interesting.
It's because I'm not going to be talking for 5 hours. I'm not eating. I see that you've paused, so let's talk a little bit.
Okay.
Can you trace? I mean, thinking back to growing up, being young, the first time you considered God, like Jesus, like beyond what you've been told, like a real person. Can you remember when he became real, like a real entity to you?
That would be difficult. I can trace back some things that points to this,
okay,
but not an exact.
No, as much as you can share with us.
Yeah. So, as I said, like growing up, my family was typical African family, but my both parents were strong Christians even before they got married. Like,
okay,
they had scripture union backgrounds and they did not know themselves.
How do you feel about your hair?
It's a tussle. Every single time I have to video call my mom, she talks about it. Every single time. I think my dad has calmed down, but my mom,
say no.
My son, please do this for me.
I believe.
My son, please. I'm like, please.
I believe.
But then, they had very strong scripture union background. So when they met, the home was a very Christian-based home. Like we did our devotions regularly. My dad was a deacon in church. My mom was women's president in church. So there was all of that. And yes, a lot of people say things like, it's not about going to church. It's not about this and that one. And I understand why they say that. But to be very honest, we have no idea what the influences our parents have on how we perceive God, how we perceive the reality of God, how we perceive the character of God. Either being a good father or being a protective covering over you in different forms. So I had very good examples that pointed to God in a way that it was easy for me to find my own personal experience with God. So I had, aside from what my parents could influence, I still had situations where I was randomly exposed to preachers like Creflo Dollar. I was feeding on really good words while I was really little. Like when Creflo Dollar talks about grace through faith. Like I understood the concept when I was really little. Or Pastor Milia Connie on purity and sanctification. And
that's good food.
Did you get like this? So, or even Pastor Chris talking about Pastor Chris Oyashilomi teaching on righteousness, consciousness, all those kind of things. I understood them when I was still little. And for a young person to crystallize such knowledge, it sort of sticks. Regardless of what you experience, it still sticks. You can have periods where teenage and youthful exuberance might make you play around, but you still
that
know,
foundation
you still
is
know,
set.
you get it is two sets that you cannot get missing. Do you get? So I think that's really helped me. I even had my own personal experiences with supernatural experiences growing up. Like there were just a couple to mention. Like I know when I was really, really fascinated about God growing up, and I really, that excitement where you're like, I want to really experience God.
So you're hearing all these stories of this person saw this. Like me too.
And maybe my family members might be hearing this for the first time, or they might, I don't even know. But there was just a period where I was like, this book of Revelation, the Bible generally, I want to read the Bible. And I went into my room, closed the door, and personally, I'm a very slow reader. So I can take 2 minutes on 3 lines again and again. I'll be reading it.
Initially, you're just seeing words.
You get?
It takes time for it to make meaning in your head. Trust me, I get it.
You get? So, but on this day, it felt like I was in, should I call it a trance, or I was like,
just say
time just basically
paused.
Wow. And I ran through the whole book
of Revelation.
I ran through the whole book,
and it made sense
in minutes. So, like when I came out of the room, I wasn't sure that was what the situation was and that was the first time I was actually reading the book.
Wow.
So people said accident.
And Revelations of all.
Do you get my point?
Like Romans. Romans like Luke, something.
Till like people would ask me things about, and I would say things, and I'm like, this is scary.
Wow.
This is really, really weird.
Wow.
So there are times like that. There are even times when I used to do music where God would reveal a particular melody to me, the words and stuff like that. And funny enough, let's say I'm in a place where I don't have any book or my phone to record. I don't know what the melody is, I don't know what the words are, and they would disappear because I'm maybe somewhere. And then 3 days later, you come back. I'm like, God, I need to remember this thing. And in minutes,
you will get it back.
Like, you feel.
You know that you didn't remember it because you didn't know it.
You get my point? And it's not just that you would. So with me, it's not just that I can remember these things. I would literally feel the presence of God.
Wow.
In that sense.
Wow.
And so instances like that give me hints that this person is real. This is not just something you read in the book. Do you get? So I have moving on from all that to maturing, like going through different life situations and seeing God real in these situations. It's just
you know, it's so funny that you tell that story because I literally same. growing up,
Okay.
My father was a pastor now, so obviously it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I remember one time in uni, we're in chapel, and this one guy is going on the altar back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and he smashes his head against a fan.
Whoa.
And he doesn't stop. I was like, there are two options. Is it a demon or is God? I said that in my mind, but out loud, I just said, God, if this is you, I want to experience this. I don't know what I thought I was saying.
Wow.
And I didn't take it seriously. I didn't even remember. We get back to the door. 5 minutes in my room, heaven breaks loose. Everybody's praying in tongues. Everybody's crying. Everybody's rolling on the floor. I hear in my ears, this is but a drop of the love I have for you. Everybody that walks into the room starts immediately speaking in tongues. One of my friends, she couldn't speak in tongues at the time. I looked at her and I said, do you want it? She said, yes. Somebody on next to her, tap, bursts out in tongues for hours. At some point, I felt like my blood was boiling. I wanted to run out of the room to shout, God is real, oh, God is real. My friends held me. Don't gossip, when you think you're a mad person. It's hours, I kid you not, hours. Everybody calms down. And it was like, what happened? I said, it's me. I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that I committed such a crime. I sometimes God just wants to prove that it's not just.
So
yeah.
With this thing, I get really, really empathetic for people that can't relate. Like I made a video that I haven't yet posted. I made a short video with my phone. I haven't yet posted.
Yeah.
I've just been postponing that I'll post. The content of the video is this. It was after the reboot camp at Celebration Church.
Yeah.
And I got back and I was like, this work of faith is very annoying. Like it can be really, really frustrating. In the sense, not in the sense that people think. Let me explain. In the sense of you can be experiencing something that is unbelievable. And then there's somebody else that just cannot relate.
Find it.
And the reason why they cannot relate is because they just haven't given themselves to it. And you know when the Bible talks about the fact that in a sense God hides himself, where you don't just randomly stumble on him like that. Like it's
you have to seek.
If you seek him, you would find me when you seek me, and when you seek me with your whole heart. Like and when you get to that point where you say, okay, this God, I'm going to take it seriously, and I will see you. Yeah. You will see him. Yeah. And when you get to that point, you'll be like, so this is what I've been missing all along. You know the scripture, even though this was supposed to be light-hearted Christian, but we're going deep. The scripture that comes to my mind is, so God is talking to Daniel, right? Because Daniel is praying for his country, wants his people to be free. Yeah. And God is like, okay, he gets a revelation, he doesn't get what it means. Daniel's like, okay, God, explain. God is like, you will ask, I'll answer, and I will show you great and mighty things you never knew. The great and mighty things is like, sir, what do you want me to do? And then God is showing him about the future. Now, the Roman Empire and this. And I was like, brother Daniel is probably like, what do you want me to do? Like, how can I help you? Because now I'm scared. What's my business? Yeah. So like, in a way, it's what you're saying is like, God is so excited to show so much to people, but there's a step of openness. Yeah. Several steps of openness, to be fair, that you have to get to. And like sometimes you're asking yourself, am I not there? Do I not trust God? Do I not believe God? The thing about God is he knows those walls, even the ones that you're not aware of. And then he might even be showing you just won't see it. True. So it's like, it's the same thing we're saying about the love of God, right? Yeah. Understanding God's love as a real person, as a real entity. Yeah. There's a revelation that comes to you. Like not revelation seeing a sight, but an understanding that comes to you when you realize this guy is really real. Like I feel like nobody can explain it to you. You have to by yourself get to that point where you're just nobody can explain it. Wait, hold up. I thought this was just some white guy. Yeah. No, it's real. It's real. God has different ways of doing it. And the funny thing is, the way he deals with you is the different way he deals with somebody else. And we have to be careful not to turn our experiences or our dealings with God into doctrine. In a sense where we feel like if this doesn't happen to you, you most likely and you'll get. Because for me, for instance, I've not really been in a situation where, people, when they're in prayer meetings or deliverance services, they see people falling on their anointing, screaming. I have never experienced stuff like that.
That's a little boy alone.
I personally have never felt that kind of experience before. but I have other experiences that I feel that I'm like, this guy has to be
real. He has to be real.
Or is it times when...
Is it that I'm schizophrenic?
Or is it times when, like, I would have an instruction from God, and my wife gets the exact instruction. Yeah. And I'm about to say something, and then she says, "This is what you want to say, right?"
Bro.
Like, it's a chilling moment. It's a proper chilling moment.
One time, God gave me a word for somebody. I was praying about something else, and God gave me a word for somebody. I was like, this thing does not connect to the person. I'm about to embarrass my. So I called this girl and I tell her, God said da da da. She was like, this girl was so. That's exactly. She was the one that was sharing the word. It was me that was almost moved to tears. Wow. Because sometimes it's so subtle. They're just like, But then God is like, I said what I said.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Nice one. That's right? Good. That's good.
And okay, so let me ask you this. Okay. We're talking about all these experiences and all these things. Has there ever been a time where, in spite of knowing these things, you were like, bro, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. Like, not like I'll stop following God, but I need to relax. You need to leave me alone for like 2 seconds. Let me breathe.
Let me see. So personally, I only know anything that was close to that experience is maybe some kind of uncomfortable experience with either some church gatherings. Let's say I had an experience that made me upset when I was serving in a particular church or spiritual gathering, and then I was like, I need some space. Yeah. Do you get? I think that's usually different from when you're actually saying that to God. Like, that's a different experience. That transcends just spiritual guidance. It transcends church. It's an inner inquisition. You're asking yourself that, this guy is stressing me. I've never got to that point. Like, so personally,
it's more circumstantial, like what, like physical.
Let's say somebody hurts me and the person is related to something that's with God, and I'm like, I need
this
a break.
Church people are.
Like, there was a time something happened in a particular church I was in, and I was like, I don't like this. And I was conscious enough to know that there's a discrepancy between God and his people. Like, God is perfect, his people are not. They are still getting to that image. They are slowly transforming into him. So people are imperfect, they have their differences in a lot of ways. So I think that's the only thing that I can say is similar to that, or maybe burnout. Working in
just like human stuff.
And then I just decided, okay, for this period I'm just going to be
worshiping in my house.
Or like, I would just sit in church and not serve just to feed and be
Okay, flip side of that.
Okay,
what's your biggest testimony you can share? And don't say your wife.
I don't know. I've never actually.
Think about it. Let me take a bite while you think. Because this one is good.
What's my biggest testimony I can share? What's my biggest testimony I can share?
Pick one. Okay, you can say your wife.
That might be a little too broad.
Cliche.
Like, it's a little broad. Like, there has to be something that you have to say.
Let me change the question. A recent testimony that made you feel like, this guy really likes me.
Okay, so I'm trying to be careful with how much detail I'm pouring into it.
Okay.
But, like,
you heard it here first. Exclusive.
It's not. But then, like, there has been a pattern. It's also similar to all the things we've been saying, but I had noticed a pattern in my business for 3-4 years ish, where a particular period in time, it almost, to me that time and to people outside, it almost seems like there was nobody reaching out. For someone, I've been a photographer for 10 years.
Wow.
And for someone that has been consistent and giving it my all every single year, you would expect that as the years go by, you'd be building and building, and that happens. That's the case. But like, I noticed that there are like some periods, a couple of months, where it's like nobody is reaching. Nobody is like
It's like nobody remembers
like,
that you're there.
Do you get my point?
Yeah, invisible.
And it was repetitive. The same period.
Wow.
The first day it happened, it was very weird. The next day it happened, it was very weird. So,
and when there's a trend, there's intelligence.
Do you get? So when at first for me, I was thinking, is it maybe an economic climb thing about like is maybe in this
Nigeria.
Do you get maybe in that period
people spend money on other things?
Do you get? I was trying to explain it away with but by the third year, I think that was when I stopped and I was like, something is up.
Yeah.
So in that situation was where I brought myself together. I gathered, what people say?
The Bible says, and he gathered himself, and he said to himself.
You just call yourself to a meeting.
You call yourself to a meeting.
Something
is up. Myself.
Something is up. Yeah. So I'm trying to skip a lot of details.
It's fine, you can skip details.
At the end, it was obvious to me that God was using that period as a period for me to reset. That was not necessarily in terms of resting, but in terms of re-strategizing for the new year. So it used to happen around October, September period. So I realized that was actually my new year. For other people, their new year starts.
God said this is December, our calendar.
You get?
Don't worry about other people.
So it's a situation of, in that period is where God gives me direct instructions on things that are going to like when he wants to make a shift, a difference in what I'm going to do in the new year, it starts around that period. But what he does is he makes it so silent, so dry, enough for me to listen. Because a lot of times with the instructions that he brings, if it was in those busy seasons, I would not listen. I would not hear. I wouldn't be able to even discern. I wouldn't discern because I can be very busy.
Too much is happening.
I can be very busy. Like you can be dealing with maybe working 20 days in a 30 day. Like that is very, very intensive. So you would not hear anything. I know when I worked with T.Y. Bello for about 2 years plus, and the period where she was supposed to reach out to me to the period where we were supposed to meet to work together was definitely orchestrated by God.
Wow.
Because it wasn't anything about me lobbying for anything, and also it was a situation of it was only going to be possible for it to happen in that season. Like God had to instruct me that this is what's going to happen.
Wow.
So when the call came, I was waiting. To an extent. To an extent, I was not surprised. It was.
You're still impressive.
It was shocking, but like I was not surprised because it was like God already hinted me that this was coming, something similar to this. So even going into my relationship with her that period, it had to be. I knew that I wasn't just going there just to do what every other person was doing. It was more informed in a sense.
So how does it feel to be God's favorite?
You are God's favorite. Also.
I mean, I know how it feels to be God's favorite. I'm just asking you.
Okay, how does it feel? It feels like I feel proper seen. I feel covered. Yeah. So even in times when things might seem very uncertain, I'm like, nah, he has done something in the past that I can hold on to. Like
that track record of faithfulness.
There's that confidence I walk into whatever uncertain situation. People wonder that why is this guy so confident? I'm like, don't worry about it. You get
okay, I can't say this. Let me keep it together. Okay. So not my final question, but one of the final questions I want to ask you. We've hinted at, your wife and all these things. I have a question, right? The Bible talks about, compares a husband to Christ. And we've been sort of hinting at husbandhood, marriage and stuff. Is there any lesson that you've learned or something you've come to realize about Christ by being a husband?
Plenty.
The church is not, the church is stressful.
Plenty.
Your wife is gonna watch this video. I'm just saying.
No, but plenty, a lot. So
please share.
I believe strongly that marriage is a it's a learning process. Like, and it's only someone that is willing to learn, only someone that is willing to die to self that can get married. If you're not willing to die to self and learn, just don't stress
bother.
yourself.
Just enjoy your life.
Really don't stress yourself, because if that's the case, you'll be hitting your head every single second. You get. So things that I have learned in marriage that how did you
that teaches you something new about Christ, like a new perspective that you've learned.
So I know that I have come to realize that when the Bible says man should love his wife as Christ loves the church or loved the church, it's like the greatest form of sacrifice that you can be thinking of. You have to know that if Christ loved the church so much that he laid down his life, you can't be arguing about some flimsy things. Like some things don't really. You have to prefer her to yourself in almost literally everything.
That's crazy.
And that's a very huge responsibility that I know that it takes a lot of dying to self and unlearning a lot of typical African, what's it called?
That you didn't even realize that you had. Look, you're just like, are we not on the same page?
I think. Wow. I hope I can share this, but like there was a very funny experience where, because I come from, in my family, as I said, it's a very, we have a very strong Christian background. In my family, my dad leads the prayers. Do you get? And he leads the prayers, even the songs that gets sung, he's the one that starts everything. So at the early time in our marriage, there was one time we're praying together, and then my wife was like leading the prayer. I'm like, Madam,
why are you leading?
And like we have to pray finish first. Then after I'm like, wait, please, I beg.
I'm not. Let's talk about this.
Can we please? You should know what's black. Till we talk back and forth, I'm like, wait. This is actually just a cultural thing that I had in my head. So it had to take me understanding that
crazy. I've never thought about that.
There are lots of all these subtle things that just it's till you get into a marriage, at least with somebody that you really love, that you start seeing a lot of yourself. They tell you that when you get into marriage, you see the worst version of yourself. Because that is the point where you can have a mirror in front of you. You have something to say. This is exactly what I'm doing. I can't lie to myself. First of all, this person loves me. The person will tell me exactly what I'm doing.
Even if I can lie to myself, this person not going to
do you get my point? Like,
the mirror is here.
I can lie to myself and tell myself that I've been doing well, or I don't want to face the truth. But there's somebody else that is trying to tell me that.
What did you do?
What you are doing?
What have you been?
Do you get my point? So you would see it and be like, wow, I've never really taken notice of this. And what that does, or what that helps you do, is in a very short time or over time, you find yourself refining in a very fast way. You refine.
It's like you're in a pressure cooker.
Like you refine way faster than when you are unmarried.
Isn't that subject to wanting to be refined though?
No, that's I
You've already given that caveat to the beginning.
I gave that disclaimer in the beginning.
Fair enough.
Because it's a process, it's a learning process. I said that. Like, so if you're not ready to learn, just
don't worry about it.
But I'm telling you that if you compare an unmarried man with a married man that is actually interested
in being married.
Like if you compare them over years, you would see how the character of this man is refined. Like you become more complete over time. Do you get my point? But when you have no responsibilities in that sense, and all your assessment of yourself is just your
self-assessment.
It is.
I give myself
it's limited.
5. Everything. Stupendous. I'm a fantastic chef.
You understand? You get to now see yourself from someone else's perspective, lens, and it helps you grow. It helps you build in that sense.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like hard work, but okay.
It's proper hard work, but it is valuable. It is worth it.
Okay.
It is worth it.
Okay.
So every single chance I get, I try to sell people the idea of getting married.
Okay.
I try my best because a lot of people are missing a lot. And when people say it, people think maybe what I'm talking about is romance and what. Nah. Personally, as an Igbo man. As an Igbo man, and they say we love business, we love money. I need to tell you for certain that getting married, when the Bible says that he who finds a wife
finds a good thing. Come on.
And obtains favor.
Hey.
That favor.
Is hard work favor.
No, for real, like that favor is not a joke. It is the easiest way to 10x is to get married.
Wow.
Like, I'm being very serious. Okay. When I say that every single opportunity I have,
you are telling everybody, Mario.
To my friends, I'm telling them like, because apart from what I just described to you now, with regards how you grew exponentially, you would grow in every facet of your life exponentially. Yeah. But there is this sense of favor that goes with you. Yeah. Like, it is different. I am telling you, I'm your friend. I believe that I'm your friend. I am telling you,
I'll take your
word. It is different.
You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I believe you simply because I've seen it too. I cannot disagree. I've actually seen it too. Same, all my friends. Well, not all my friends. Most of my friends are married. Yeah. It's very clear how different. You're right in that there's this alignment that happens. I think it might be because I don't know what it is. It's God's favor, as you said.
So the thing is, I hope I'm not taking a long time. But the thing is this: I strongly believe family is one of God's best, weapons against this world, against the systems of this world. Yeah. And it's a very strategic means to go against the principalities of this world. And that's the reason why God is very, very particular about marriages and families. Because see how I gave the instance of growing up. Yeah. Most of what my parents had to do to ensure that they give birth to someone that ended up having good, heads upon the shoulder and can go ahead to choose what is right. Yeah. Vis-a-vis choose God. Yeah. Was just them living out their own Christian life.
I get what you're saying.
You have no idea what this person that has been created can do to the kingdom of darkness. Yeah. Yeah. Do you get my point? Yeah. And every single opportunity you have to raise soldiers that can fight against that kingdom, the more you can propagate God's kingdom on this earth. So God is really particular about families. He's really particular.
Okay. I like this angle.
So every single thing, every single thing that needs to help you thrive
in that sense.
He sponsors his idea every single time. Yeah. And family is one of God's
primary. I completely agree with you. And that's honestly, I don't know how to segue that into the end, except to say prolific photographer, because I'm going to put prolific there. A musical artist, pharmacist, and
what?
Honestly, I was going to say, what will scare you more? Apostle?
I beg you.
I'm just playing. I'm not playing. I'm playing. I'm playing.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
There's somebody that needed to hear this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we're in a generation of people that are freaking out about things like this. So this conversation really helps at least a Christian person understand that it's not just hard work because you caught feelings. There's actually God ordained. Yeah. Honestly, spiritual warfare that is happening just by working in this line, and you're actually breaking chains and stuff like that. Yeah. So I love it. And I just wanted to say, for 2025,
okay,
what is your biggest hope or prayer for 2025? What are you most excited about? Let's do it like that.
stepping into legacy.
Come on now.
In the sense of it, like, I'm being serious about it. Like, I'm most excited about stepping into things that, like, living in my destiny in the sense where it transcends just me.
Come on.
Do you get? So that involves building people, building men. Like, I need to pour as much as God like has given me
start
into people. Do you get? Whether it regards my my work capacity, like my expertise, or whatever spiritual blessings,
or being on a podcast like this.
Being on a podcast like this. Do you get? So stuff like that. I know that is something I'm really. So when you reached out, it was an easy yes. I was just doing like I was.
When you said yes, I said
no, it was an easy yes. I just need to know more detail. Yeah. But it was an easy yes. I knew that was definitely
I'm delighted.
I'm also delighted.
You're fantastic at your art.
Thank you.
But you're also a fantastic human being in general.
Thank you so much.
I knew before I met you. So no, I'm being serious.
Thank you very much.
I can tell there's a light about you that I just honestly, thank you to your mom and your daddy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Also, thank you for being on my podcast.
This was so much fun.
I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for amazing food.
Yes, I'm glad you enjoyed your food as well.
Yeah, I did.
So thank you. No, thank you too for watching, sharing, liking, and if there's anybody that you know that doesn't want to get married, send them this podcast. I just
actually.
See, and then follow Manne. I'll put his page or his IG page somewhere on the screen, and then you can see. Please follow Manne and book because you're gonna look good. Thank you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please remember you're loved more deeply and truly than you can ever imagine. Ooh. My name is Tofumi, and this has been Eyewitness. Thank you.